News.
And I'm Richard Hamilton. Our first story today comes from Hollywood. Today marks the 10th anniversary of Buzz Lightyear forgiving Woody in the 1995 blockbuster Toy Story. I never thought Buzz would forgive that cowboy after he pushed him out the window and into Sid's yard. He was lucky to make it back in one piece.
Indeed, Richard. Why, Buzz and Woody were rivals right from the start. As you recall, Woody, the cowboy toy, was profoundly threatened and jealous when Buzz, the fancy spaceman toy, replaced him as top toy in Andy's room. While setting up an intricate scheme to make Buzz foolish, it backfired, sending Buzz off into the real world outside the safety of Andy's room. This story certainly wreaked havoc with all the other toys. Mr. Potato Head reported that Woody purposefully tried to get rid of Buzz. Yet Little Bo Peep sided with Woody and said it was an accident. I guess we'll never really know for sure what happened on that day in Andy's room. Let's roll the clip.
Have you been replaced? No one's getting replaced. Excuse me.
Well, Lightyear to the rescue.
Oh, okay. Who else?
Don't even think about it, cowboy. Two heroes, ready for anything.
I don't like confrontations.
Except each other.
Whoa.
But that's about to change. They've stepped over the edge. And into the real world.
I think he bounced into Sid's yard. He tortures toys. Where is your honor, dirtbag? A good soldier never leaves a man behind.
We're happy to reflect that Buzz forgave Woody and in fact went on to star together in the 1999 sequel Toy Story 2. Both toys are doing well and were in attendance at the reunion party, including Mr. Potato Head, sporting his new Darth Tater look.
No word yet on whether George Lucas has forgiven Pixar for that or not. In sports, there was one game scheduled today between Ryerson and Bethesda, the winner of which would go on against the champion Marshall team. For an update on the game, let's all go to our field reporter, Don Cherry.
Thank you, Richard. As you know, the last time these two teams met, it was a heated event with tempers boiling over a number of times and players being injured. Joining me now is the import player for Ryerson, Rick O'Shea. And Rick, are you expecting the same type of game today with a lot of hard-hitting and rule-breaking?
Well, I'll tell you, Don, last game we had 3 players injured, and it's hard to forget about that. And it's something we talked about in the locker room after the game. But we decided as a team that we're going to go out there and forgive them for their past indiscretions. And we're going to have a fresh start. We're going to play fair and hope that we come out on top.
So you've forgiven them, even though without a couple of key players today as a result of what they did?
Absolutely. That's all behind us now. It's a big game. We're going to go out there and give it our all. And hopefully, God willing, they'll forgive the refs for disqualifying 6 of their guys.
Well, there you have it. The Ryerson team has forgiven the Bethesda team. And what happened the last time they faced each other? They are, of course, hoping to defeat Bethesda this week and to advance to face Marshall in the Go Fish Championship later this week. And before I go, we do have a partial score in. Saints 77, Devils 0. Back to Roger at the studio.
It's Richard, Don, but I forgive you. Back to Joanne.
Thanks, Richard. In other news, in Burlington today, a Cabbage Patch doll was found at the experimental vegetable garden. The doll was left there by young Timothy Jones in an attempt to regenerate the arm that was accidentally pulled off in a tug-of-war in an argument with his sister Susie. Susie was reunited with the doll after a gardener checked the adoption papers and contacted the Jones family. Susie has forgiven her brother for the incident, and when asked by her parents, did not recommend grounding her older brother.
This news just in. The entire Marshall congregation has forgiven their minister, Robin, and his new wife, Susan, for not inviting them to their wedding.
Our next story is a follow-up to a news story we brought to you 6 weeks ago.
Williamsdale, Alabama, after a high school graduation party in June. Lindsay McCoy and her best friend Debbie Mayer were killed when the car that they were riding in was struck by a pickup truck driven by Stephen Dagan. Dagan, who had attended the same graduation party, was intoxicated at the time of the accident.
This past Friday, the small community of Williamsdale gathered at the Community Centre for a service to sing, share stories, and remember the two young women. Lindsay McCoy's parents spoke of how she was 2 weeks shy of her 18th birthday, was a straight-A student with a love of animals. Her plan was to go off to university and study veterinary medicine in September. Debbie Mayer's brother spoke of an enthusiastic and joyful young woman who was outgoing, was dating a member of the football team, and loved to dance.
The last person to arrive at the memorial service was the local Baptist preacher, Nathan Robinson, who brought with him the driver of the pickup truck, Stephen Dagan. Reverend Robinson stated, "The entire community was behind the decision to invite Mr. Dagan to this occasion, so that he knew that we, the entire community, had forgiven him for that tragic night."
And grace, my fears relieved.
And now for his personal commentary, let's go live to David Kennedy.